Third, it gives the public an unhindered view of the apes by using a simple water ditch instead of ugly wire or iron bars. So what the visitors see is a pleasant, natural scene rather than the usual row of prison cells. In short, it's a zoo exhibit where everyone benefits, even the animals. The development of these more enlightened animal displays reflects an increasing concern about what we've been doing to wild animals in the past. Our new awareness is driving us more and more towards a naturalistic style of zookeeping. But this creates an uncomfortable contradiction, for we must devise captivity that does not look like captivity. We must pretend that these are wild animals, even though we know that they are not. Other modern zoos have taken this trend even further, moving towards more and more open conditions. Safari parks, where whole herds of game, whole troops of monkeys can move about freely, while it's the human observers who are restricted to their little metal and glass cages. But even this fails to satisfy the purists. To them, the very act of placing a wild animal in captivity is invalid, an exploitation rather than a celebration. They wish to see all wild animals in the wild, untouched by human intervention. Zoos may be caring for their animals to the best of their ability, but is this more than southern gentlemen being exceptionally kind to their slaves? Does that justify slavery? Does this justify captive animals? In an ideal world, no, it does not. In an ideal world, it seems to me, every child should have the opportunity to visit wild places and see wild animals in their natural habitat. But the human population is increasing by 150,000 every day. So soon, whether we like it or not, those wild places will be shrinking to little more than large game parks. And then all wild animals will become little more than captive zoo inmates. So who are we fooling? If our newfound sensibilities make us feel that there's something wrong with the zoo concept, then we've simply got to stop overpopulating the world. We've got to stop breeding so much that we smother the entire globe in a human blanket. We can't have it both ways. The marine man is a more controversial and more commercialized development that's spreading and growing all over the world. It's proved extremely popular, but to me, I must admit, it seems to be little more than a saltwater circus. Its defense is that through its performances, we marvel at the beauty and abilities of its cetacean inmates. No attempts here to dominate them with lion tamers, whips and sticks. We do not subdue the dolphins and the whales, we revere them. We promote their cause. True, and yet somehow, to the audience, they remain caricatures, performers that hark back to the medieval days of animal tricks and daring feats. No matter how glamorous it may seem on the surface, it is really a regression to a more primitive attitude. And there's no excuse for it with animals as cooperative as dolphins. For these are not captive animals, nor are they trained, coerced, conditioned or brainwashed. They're normal wild dolphins that regularly swim near the shore to enjoy the company of their human friends. In the shallow waters lapping this Australian beach, they seem to relish the contacts and appear quite fearless. The ancient legend of the boy on a dolphin no longer seems quite so far-fetched. If we can encounter dolphins at close quarters like this, who wants them to jump through hoops and perform funny tricks? If we want to bring animals into our world, then perhaps it's best to leave the wild species to their wild places and concentrate instead on the tame species. The animals that can no longer exist in nature because of the way we've modified them. The animals we call pets.
For most of us, there are only two kinds of pets with which we're prepared to share our homes and our gardens. The only two animals that have ever been given the full freedom of our houses. And they are the cat and the dog.
Domestic pets have been bred for generations to adapt them as much as possible to our way of life. Reared from birth in our presence, they become, as it were, bilingual, as much at ease with us as with their own kind. They can enjoy both types of relationship, and the animal contract that exists between man and dog is about as ideal as it can get. For their human companions, dogs provide many rewards. Pet owners, on average, live longer than those without pets. The dog's lively but at the same time soothing presence acts as a de-stressing device for harassed urbanites, reducing their blood pressure and the risk of heart attacks. They also provide emotional rewards, acting as pseudo-children and satisfying our often frustrated parental urges. It's a good contract for all concerned. Their appeal has become so immense that the 400 breeds of dogs are now shown competitively all around the world, from Sydney to San Francisco and from Moscow to Manchester.
These events have often been the subject of ridicule. In fact, television rarely treats them seriously in the way in which, say, sporting competitions are treated. And critics have argued that the dogs in the show ring are often exploited by their owners through the sheer competitiveness of the situation.
Of course, dog shows are an easy target. But contrary to critical opinion, the dogs are always eager for these occasions. Traveling with their owners, the rich landscape of canine fragrances when they arrive, the bustle and the excitement, the very complexity of it all. These are the elements that, for the highly sociable dog, constitute a perfect substitute for a primeval pack-hunting expedition. It breaks the monotony of the ordinary daily routine in a manner that's well suited to the canine personality. And because dog shows are so competitive, it ensures high standards of canine care and health. Pedigree dogs may irritate some Puritans because of the amount of fuss and attention they get. Sometimes it may seem a little excessive, it's true, but the fact remains that these are the luckiest of all our four-legged companions. For some people, ordinary domestic dogs and cats do not provide enough of a challenge. For them, something more dramatic is needed. Animals that can kill at a single blow. Here, the friendship really must be close, or the contract will be his last. Scenes like this polarize the experts. Some see it as a way to save the tiger from almost certain extinction in the wild. Others see it
as the unhappy creation of a mental hybrid, an animal that is tamed but not domesticated, a humanized tiger that cannot return to the wild and yet cannot live freely in human society, like its small domestic cat relative. For the people involved in these exotic relationships, there is a special reward, a daily escape from the jaws of death, an endlessly repeated risk that excites the human ego.
The animal contract will continue on the Discovery Channel.
This portion of Discovery is sponsored in part by the makers of Advil Cold and Sinus.
When you work in a doctor's office during cold season, you're going to get a cold. And I've got a butte. Hard to tell? That's because I took this, Advil Cold and Sinus, from the makers of Advil. It's tough on colds, like Advil is on pain. Get you through congestion, fever, a bad sore throat. Believe me, I know.
Advil Cold and Sinus, advanced formula for the cold season.
So I saw this detergent with bleach alternative, and I wondered how it compared to my Clorox 2 on colored loads. So I pulled out the twins' dirty shirts. I washed this one in detergent with bleach alternative, and this one in Clorox 2 and my regular detergent. And look, the shirt washed in Clorox 2 is cleaner and brighter. I think I'll stay with my Clorox 2. Clorox 2 color-safe bleach. Gets clothes clean and bright.
LJ Odom on the Toyota Corolla LE Extra Value Package.
I was drifting in the desert heat, and like a refreshing wind, she swept me off my feet. She filled my heart with song, and now she's done me wrong. Well, she shut me out by barely lifting a finger. Life's got its ups and downs, and ain't this a humdinger? But as you can clearly see, my Corolla is always here for me.
You have just got to get this thing.
You gotta get this thing.
Prodigy. It's a great gift for anyone with a PC.
You wouldn't believe the number of uses that it has.
I do my shopping at home. I do my banking at home.
I don't have to wait in the line.
Prodigy even has a 21-volume electronic encyclopedia that's updated quarterly.
Awesome. My son sent me flowers through Prodigy.
Prodigy is the online service that connects your computer to news, shopping, sports, and an encyclopedia that never goes out of date.
Gotta get this thing.
Now that's a great gift.
Prodigy.
It's in stores everywhere.
Thursday nights on the Discovery Channel. The ever-changing world of science and technology. It's as puzzling as it is fascinating. Go beyond your wildest imagination with the science magazine that takes you into the 21st century. Don't miss the award-winning series Beyond 2000. Thursday nights at 9 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
Before you say I do, tune in to Bridal Showcase 2. TV3 brings you another installment of Bridal Showcase every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday evening. Bridal Showcase 2 helps you plan and get ideas. It features more of what you're looking for. Elegant catering, professional entertainment, videography, and more. So before you say I do, tune in to Bridal Showcase 2 every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday evening. Only on Suburban Cablevision's TV3.
Imagine tiny filaments. Slender strands of fiber optic cable are creating the next phase of the communications revolution. Better pictures today and a new world of information, education, and entertainment tomorrow. Many cable customers throughout New Jersey are already receiving benefits from this technology. The future's on cable.
On the Discovery Channel.
Of course, it would be a tidier, cleaner world without animal companions around us. Life would be simpler, and we'd be guilt-free, unable to inflict even accidental discomfort upon them. City dwellers could dispense with animals altogether. And country folk merely glance at them from a distance. But the loss of intimacy would quickly lead to a new kind of abuse, the loss of interest.